This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Hello and welcome back. Today we're taking this old French Provincial dresser and I'm going to glam it up a bit. This was given to me by a neighbor who didn't need it anymore, and there's some solid wood here as well as some veneer. It's pretty functional. There's not a whole lot of repairs that need to be done, but it is pretty dirty and I want to give it a new life by painting it. First up, I'm going to fill any of the nicks, dings, and holes with some Bondo wood filler. This is a two-part solution and I'm mixing them together and then putting it on the piece, spreading it out, and letting it dry. Once all the wood filler has dried, it's okay to go through and sand it all down and get it nice and flat so that when you're painting, you have a flush surface. Thanks so much to my subscribers and people who sent me things off my wish list. These round foam discs were from my wish list, as well as the sandpaper. So thanks again to everybody who is sending me gifts off my Amazon wish list. I really appreciate it. Now I'm spraying down the whole thing with Dawn dish soap power wash, and then I'm going to go over it with some clean warm water and wipe it all back. Now that it's all clean, I'm going to tape off this piece so that I get really clean paint lines when I paint. While I'm doing that, I just want to talk about community for a minute. There's a really sweet community here on YouTube of other furniture flippers and creative furniture YouTubers who come together pretty frequently on chats and in emails and things like that to help each other out. And I really appreciate that community. I also really appreciate the community of y'all here in the comments. And you're kind of like my internet neighbors, and I really, really appreciate you for being here. So thank you. Now I'm mixing up my paint. I'm going to use Endless Shore from Dixie Belle. This is a silk all-in-one mineral paint, which means that you don't need to have a separate primer or a separate top coat. It is all in one. So I'm painting this on with a zebra brush and just letting it do its thing. Another community that's really important to me is my apartment complex and my neighborhood. There have been so many wonderful people in my apartment complex that I've gotten to meet just by truly just saying hello, asking them their name, and going from there. Working outside and painting outside has definitely started a lot of conversations with neighbors who I might not have otherwise met. And I also have some neighbors that I am now gardening with. So as simple as that might sound, I think a lot of people are really hungry for community right now, and I think a lot of people are really lonely. And so finding ways that you can create or embrace community or participate in community, I think is a lot more revolutionary and radical than it may seem on the surface. I want to take a moment to tell you about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who loves learning, trying new things, and wants to explore their creativity. If you have a specific skill that you're wanting to learn, there's probably a class on Skillshare. It's the perfect place for you to start, from photography to illustration, graphic design, freelancing. You can find classes that will match your goals and your interests. I'm taking a class called Productivity for Creatives, Make More of Your Time, taught by Thomas Frank and Ali Abdal. The first 1,000 people to use the link down below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So make sure to use my link for a free trial to join Skillshare and learn something inspiring and new. While the paint's drying, I'm cleaning the hardware. So I've let this hardware soak overnight in just distilled white vinegar, and now I'm taking some steel wool and I'm just cleaning them off. I'm getting off all the dirt and grime that's been on these over the years and shining them up. I want these to look really nice and glam and updated, but I also like some of the depth that exists within the cracks of this hardware. So you can see I'm going over with some gilding wax. I'm using a tiny little artist brush, and I'm not trying to get too deeply into all the crevices and nooks and crannies. I'm really just trying to get the gold effect layered over the whole piece of the hardware so that I have a good, nice gold handle, but there's still some depth and dimension of the old color that's coming through. Here's one without gilding wax and one with, and there's a big difference. I experimented with a few different ways to apply gilding wax in the details of this piece. First, I started just freehanding with an artist brush, and that worked okay, but a little easier was taping it off and then using my finger and going through and putting the gilding wax in that way. That gave me a little bit more room to mess up or be a little bit more messy, and it was a little bit faster. Now I'm freehanding here over on the legs because it's a bigger space and isn't as detailed. One final way that I tried to apply gilding wax was, again, using some tape here and then taking some clear wax, putting that down first and then letting that dry a little bit and then slipping the gilding wax on top of that. And it's kind of similar to my method of getting really fine, crisp, clean paint lines when I'm using poly, so I'll link that video as well. Some of the drawers were sticking just a little bit, so I took some Howard's feed-in wax and wiped it on the inside of the dresser with a rag and on the bottom grooves of the drawers. This also smells good and makes the wood look really nice. All right, do you remember what this dinged up French Provincial dresser looked like? Well, it does not look like that anymore. We have elegance, we have modern, we have glam, we have updated this piece, and it is looking so much nicer. All right, I'm getting ready to list this on Facebook Marketplace. Let me know in the comments what you think I should list this dresser for. I'm not quite sure. I haven't done French Provincial before, but hopefully it'll sell quickly. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for being a part of this community, and I will see you at the next flip. Bye.